or they care.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, because if it's having something boring that's not interesting, like somebody's going to take an evening that they can spend at home doing whatever to go to a meeting, or they're going to be bored of their mind. But we have to realize as citizens that we have to go to these meetings to give our input and to make sure the city or county, whomever officials know that we care. So let's go back to this meeting that we had and what's
Okay.
going on with the unions. I can't help but believe, and again, I'm no expert, that the city does projections what's going to happen given circumstances. I can't help but believe that when they signed the contract with the union, that they had one set of projections of what would happen should a recall successfully take place against the governor, and what would happen if the recall did not work. I can't believe that they did not have those numbers.
Right. You would hope that they would if they were responsible.
Right. Okay. So let's tell me when I'm smoking crack. I'll put down the crack pipe. In my opinion, I mean no disrespect, because this is we're going to disagree.
Right.
There's no way in God's earth that Walker was going to get recalled. It wasn't going to happen, in my opinion. Okay. It's easy because now it's hindsight, right? I'm right. If they thought that was going to be the probable outcome, and they went ahead, they signed those contracts knowing in advance they'd have to go and screw the unions and crush them like bed bugs, in my opinion, that's exactly what they did. They were just disingenuous, if not dishonest, in any negotiations they had with the unions.
Right. I'd have to agree with that. Like I said, they didn't have to do this. They didn't have to say, we're going to help you out and sign a contract that was ongoing. They chose to. The city of Racine chose to. I think Mayor Dickert even made there was a quote that it's, with this political climate, people need to be able to count on what politicians say.
Sure.
Our word needs to stand for something. And that's, complete paraphrasing on my part, but it was something to that effect.
Sure.
So I give a lot of credit to anybody that actually does
Absolutely.
stand by that.
Absolutely.
But in this case, the city council, with the exception of Alderman Shields and Fair, they didn't do what they said they were going to do. And not only just what they said, but what they signed their name on a legally binding document. And now it's going to cost the city who knows how much in another lawsuit.
Oh, yeah, another lawsuit, which is coming.
Right.
Which has actually started now. We're good at getting lawsuits. Now, Alderman Hahn has union background, as does Alderman President of Council Kaplan. They're telling me, let me back up, because I've not had that discussion with Alderman DeHaan. Alderman Kaplan told me in all certain words that he didn't have a choice. Now, Alderman Kaplan was a long-time city employee. He's got to know that when they sign contracts to sign, what two options might occur. And if he didn't question in public, what if, he's wrong. They were wrong.
Right. Everybody on that council had a choice.
Yeah.
Even if, like I said, there were just those two aldermen that voted to honor the contract, even if another one would have spoke up, they still would have been outnumbered.
Yeah.
But at least that their voice could have been heard as standing in support of honoring a contract.
To me, and again, or maybe the mayor could have came out and said, look, we got a problem, union people. We have a big problem here. We've got to sit down and talk about it, and maybe something can be worked out.
Right.
But when you sit there and say, rip, toss,
Right.
you're just upset. How many people have nothing better to do than to figure out ways to get back?
Right. Correct.
As I would, because you follow my contract where I'm being paid.
It sets a precedent. That's the first contract that's ever happened with, with the city of Racine. And it sets a precedent that contracts don't mean anything to the city of Racine.
Right. I'm sure the people that work for the bus company are pretty upset because they don't have a contract to understand. And I expect they're in panic mode, worrying about what's going to happen, as I would be.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why shouldn't you be?
Yeah, why shouldn't we? Well, we have to start writing down the shelves. Do you have a webpage that people can come and visit?
I do, www.randybryce.com. Also on Facebook, it's Facebook/Bryce, BRYCE, 4, spelled out, FOR, Wisconsin, capital letters WI.
Outstanding. You have a primary coming up in a couple of weeks, right?
August 14th, please get to the polls.
Please
Yes.
get to the vote. Please vote for this man. And contrary to popular belief, I do actually support Democrats when I feel they're worthy of my support, as I do Republicans. Hell, I even support Cthulhu, because God only knows we could use most race aliens in local government. Thanks again, sir.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Pleasure's
being on
mine.
your show.
Thanks. Okay, we'll let our guests go, and then I'm going to be back with a quick diatribe on water. Thank you very much for listening to that part of Racine Ruins. Thank you again for my guest, Randy. I really appreciate him showing up and having that frank discussion with me. It meant a lot for me to know this man the way that I do. It proves to me that the people like him, like Representative Turner, Democrats that really care. Because my living in Racine, city of, where I live in the West Racine area, West 6th Street area, has shown to me that most of the Democrats that I know, especially those in Racine city government, don't care. It's all about them, all about them, all about them, and where can I find some money? And that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. We're going to talk about water. Kind of do the little bit of the river revitalization program too at the same time here. Now, what you don't know, and I'm going to tell you, is that City of Racine is in active negotiations with the city of Waukesha about selling water to them from Lake Michigan. That's a long ways to go. Before anything gets done, before one pipe is laid, all 7 states of the Great Lakes have to say it's a good idea, as does 2 provincial provinces of Canada. Well, they may just have to give a tacit understanding that's okay. They may not have to approve it, but it's kind of a long process to go. And what's fascinating to me is why the city of Racine thinks that the 7 states, other 7 states around the area, are going to say, it's okay with us, we don't care. Take 5 to 8 million gallons of water out of Lake Michigan. We don't care. Have a nice day. You see, I think they do care. I think they care a great deal. I care because in return we get the equal amount, more or less, within a certain percentage, say 90%, of treated sewage in return. Treated sewage. Would this be like the treated sewage that flows from the city of Milwaukee into Lake Michigan sometimes? I'm told that possibly can't be the case. That would never happen. That's what the people of the city of Milwaukee were also told too after the deep tunnel project. That would never happen. They would have over 1 billion gallons of untreated sewage dumped in the lake. That would never occur. And when it started happening with all the storms that they had, and again, an act of God that no one can control, they were told they were working on this problem. Working on this problem. I don't know about you, but I live within a good couple hundred yards of the river. The last thing I want to see is 1 gallon of untreated sewage, yet alone potentially millions of gallons of untreated sewage flowing in the river because an act of God happened. Yeah, nobody can stop an act of God. That's absolutely correct. We have no powers over earthquakes. We have no powers over huge tornadoes. We don't have power over any of those things of acts of God, which they can and do happen. But we don't have to put ourselves in that position to take that risk, do we? Now, the major, huge thing that's going to be the big kicker in the whole idea is it's all kinds of good money. Because City of Waukesha would have to pay a lot of money, probably in the millions each year, to make that happen, right? Pay for the water. That's what would be the selling point, was when the City of Racine gets all this money, all the things they can do with it. Yeah, all the things they can do with it. All the things they can do with millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. How many different groups do you think would promise to share of this millions of dollars that we might get if they expect that, I wonder, do you think that any environmental group, any group that might have interest in the river, might have been told tacitly under the table, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that, oh, yeah, help us out here, you back this plan that we have, and, oh, we'll let you run what might go on with the river. Do you think that might have happened? Do you think that tacit agreement has been given? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge? Interesting. Interesting. Well, let's talk about Lake Michigan and the water. I'm a big fan of, I read a lot. One of the people I read is H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft was an author in the early part of the 20th century. He wrote some really cool books about aliens from the third dimension or whatever, living in the water off the Atlantic coast around Rhode Island. Interesting books. 2 of these aliens I think actually do exist. I think one of them, Cthulhu, might actually have a lot to do with what's going on in City of Racine. Because Cthulhu's big thing was once he awoken from his slumber, he's eating everyone. That's his big thing. He would destroy the world. And the way that I see Racine being run by a current administration of doing everything in their power, inept as it might be, to, in my opinion, ruin this city by doing such boneheaded things, selling water outside the watershed for a little bit of money, will destroy the city. Has a very good possibility, should it go wrong, of causing all kinds of problems. And yet, they want us to simply trust them. And yet, they want us to believe that the same city, with all its problems they had with the neighborhood stabilization program, should be trusted with such a valuable resource, as Lake Michigan. No. It might actually be Cthulhu isn't truly running the city of Racine, even though I think that the evidence suggests that he is. It might be his good friend and close boon companion, Doggone. He might actually be running it. He wasn't such a big eater of the people, those books. He kind of hung out and made people go insane, which that might be illustrated too, what's going on here. Maybe it's Doggone running the streets of Racine at night, making people go insane. That would explain a lot, I think. Now, what we need to do is keep our eyes and close attention to what's going on in the city. Let's talk about it. Now, I must give some thanks again. I went to the last Waterworks commission meeting. I found it rather interesting. The meetings were run efficiently. The meetings had commissioners there that paid attention to what was happening, that gave input to the meetings, which is wonderful to see. That's how it should be done. And a number of them I talked to after the meeting, and they answered all my questions. Even though I wasn't supporting the idea of selling water to the Waukesha, they saw my interest as a member of the public as a good thing because they could communicate with me, share with me information, and help educate me to perhaps change my mind. And you never know that might happen. I could. But that was very good of them to talk to me and make that plain that they're willing to talk to me some more. I'd like to thank the State of Waukesha's Water Department and the cooperation I got from them with my way out questions, my blunt questions where I start out by saying, I don't understand a thing. Can you take some time and explain this to me, please? And the response and support, that open-ended question got me. They were very good about giving me documents so I can understand some very interesting details about how this is all going to happen. I'd like to thank them for it. The important thing is this. We don't have input unless we make, as Randy said, my guest, and the prior part of this portion said so completely, is that we have to go to these meetings and make our presence known, ask questions, make our opinions known, communicate, write the emails, make the phone calls to our alderman, make the phone calls to our mayor. Let them know what we think. And yeah, they may not return our phone calls. Yeah, they may not return our emails. That's their prerogative. It's our prerogative not to vote for them the next time around. Because, contrary to popular belief, Obama did not come down from heaven and say, I appoint you, John Dickert, to be mayor of City of Racine. He was elected. Doggone did not show up from the Great Lakes depths of hell and say, I appoint you. No, we voted him in. We re-elected him. The idea is if we don't like how they're treating us as citizens of City of Racine, next time they run for office, don't vote for them. We can find other people to run. And that is on us. Because right now, a lot of people don't seem to be interested in public office, and I guess I can understand why. At the same time, we want things to change. We got to step up to the plate. We got to run for local office. We got to go to these committee meetings. We got to make our thoughts and make our opinions known in a wide variety of ways. Anyway, that's basically all the time that I have for today. I really appreciate everybody listening. Remember that this is a show of opinion, and hopefully you were entertained by it. I appreciate my guest Randy coming on the show, and I appreciate all the comments and all the comments and blurbs and comments I got in my blog about what I'm doing in the show. I really appreciate it again. And remember, should you see a giant thing come out of Lake Michigan, tell them there's really bad construction around the city hall, so they might want to simply teleport to the second floor in the corner office and they want to speak to the mayor. It might be easier for them. Thanks a lot. Have fun.